We live in a world that moves fast, too fast, a world that changes in an instant. One moment we're on solid ground, and the next, everything is shifting beneath our feet. Markets crash, relationships break, plans fall apart, chaos is everywhere, and in times like these, it's easy to feel lost, uncertain, even afraid. But some people remain unshaken, not because they don't experience setbacks or fear, but because they have something stronger than the chaos around them. The question is how? How do we stay strong when the world feels unpredictable? How do we hold our ground when everything is trying to push us off balance? Today, we're going to talk about exactly that, because resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about standing firm. And when we understand what makes us unshaken, we don't just survive the storm, we become the calm within it. Imagine you're in the middle of the ocean, caught in a storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, and no matter how hard you try, you can't control the direction of the sea. That's what life can feel like sometimes. Chaotic, unpredictable, overwhelming. But even in the roughest waters, ships don't drift aimlessly. They have an anchor, something strong, deep, and immovable that keeps them from being carried away. People are no different. In a world of uncertainty, our anchor is purpose. The people who remain unshaken, no matter what storms come their way, aren't the ones who have all the answers. They aren't the ones who predict every change, avoid every crisis, or always make the right call. They are the ones who are deeply rooted in something bigger than themselves. Think about the most inspiring leaders, the most resilient individuals, the ones who seem to stand strong when everything around them is falling apart. They aren't just driven by success. They are driven by purpose. Success is an outcome. Purpose is a foundation. And there's a difference. When we chase success alone, we rely on external validation, money, recognition, titles, results. But external rewards are unpredictable. They come and go. If our confidence is tied to them, then the moment they disappear, we're lost. Purpose, on the other hand, is internal. It doesn't waver when circumstances change. It doesn't crumble when we hit a setback. It's what gives us the strength to keep moving forward, even when we fail, even when we struggle, even when the world feels against us. Look at the most resilient companies, the strongest teams. They don't just adapt to change, they withstand it because they're anchored in a mission that doesn't change. Their products might evolve, their strategies might shift, but their why, their deeper reason for existing, remains constant. And this applies to us as individuals too. Consider a doctor who goes through years of grueling training, sleepless nights, and high-pressure situations. If they're only in it for the paycheck, the first obstacle, the first long shift, the first patient loss, the first moment of doubt will shake them. But if they're anchored in the purpose of saving lives, of making a difference, they keep going. Think about entrepreneurs who face rejection, failure, and risk every day. If they're only chasing success, setbacks will feel personal, every failure will feel like proof that they aren't good enough. But those who are anchored in a deeper purpose, solving a problem, serving a need, creating something meaningful, keep moving forward no matter how many times they fall. Purpose gives us resilience because it reminds us why we started in the first place. And in a world of chaos, that's what keeps us steady. We like to believe that control is the key to stability. If we can just plan every detail, anticipate every problem, and prepare for every outcome, then we'll be safe, we'll be secure. We won't have to worry. But here's the truth. Control is an illusion. No matter how carefully we plan, things will go wrong. Markets shift, industries evolve, people leave, plans fall apart. And when our sense of security is built on the idea that we can control everything, we set ourselves up for constant stress, anxiety, and frustration. Yet, some people and organizations remain unshaken, even in the face of uncertainty. Not because they control everything, but because they build something stronger than control. They build trust. Think about the leaders who inspire us the most. They aren't the ones micromanaging every little detail, demanding perfection, or trying to force everything into place. They are the ones who create environments where people feel safe, where people feel valued, where people feel trusted. And trust is what gives us stability. Imagine a workplace where every decision must be approved, where every action is second-guessed, where people are constantly afraid of making a mistake. That's an organization built on control. It might function for a while, but it's fragile. The moment uncertainty arises, people freeze. They don't take risks. They don't step up. They wait for instructions. Now, imagine a team where people trust each other, where they know that even if they make a mistake, they won't be punished. They'll be supported. That's an organization built on trust. And when chaos comes, these teams don't fall apart. They adapt, they problem solve, they move forward. Trust creates resilience because it allows us to let go of what we can't control and focus on what we can. Look at any great partnership, whether in business, sports, or life. The strongest ones aren't based on control, they're based on trust. A great sports team doesn't win because the coach dictates every move. It wins because the players trust each other to do their jobs. A successful company doesn't thrive because the CEO controls every decision. It thrives because the team is empowered to make decisions on their own. And this isn't just about organizations, it's about individuals too. The most resilient people aren't the ones who try to control everything. They're the ones who trust in their ability to handle whatever comes their way. They trust in their preparation, in their skills, in their instincts. They trust in the people around them. They don't waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable. They focus on what they can bring to the table. Think about pilots. They don't control the weather, the turbulence, or the unexpected challenges that might arise during a flight. But they trust in their training. They trust in their co-pilot. They trust in their ability to adapt, to problem solve, to navigate whatever happens. And that's what keeps them steady even when things get turbulent. Trust doesn't eliminate uncertainty, but it makes uncertainty manageable. It replaces fear with confidence. It allows us to move forward even when the path isn't clear. And in a world of chaos, that is far more powerful than control. Two people can look at the exact same situation and see two completely different things. One sees a crisis, the other sees an opportunity. One sees failure, the other sees a lesson. One sees the end, the other sees the beginning. The only difference? Perspective. Perspective isn't just about how we see the world, it's about how we experience it. It's about how we respond to it, and ultimately it's about how we navigate it. In a world of uncertainty, change, and chaos, our ability to remain strong has less to do with what happens to us and more to do with how we choose to see it. The lens we look through. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. One person looks up and sees an impossible climb, too steep, too dangerous, too exhausting. They turn around, they give up before they even start. Another person looks up and sees a challenge. They see an opportunity to grow, to test their limits, to see the world from a new height. So they take the first step. The mountain didn't change, the climb is the same, but the way they see it determines what they do with it. Now, apply this to real life. Two people lose their job. One sees it as a catastrophe. Their career is over, their future is uncertain. The other sees it as a chance to pivot, to explore something new, to finally start that business they've always dreamed of. Same event, different perspective, complete different outcome. Reframing failure. Failure is one of the greatest tests of perspective. For some, failure is proof that they aren't good enough. It's an excuse to stop trying. It's the end of the road. But for others, failure is information. It's a teacher. It's proof that they are learning, growing, evolving. Think about the most successful innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. None of them got there without failure. In fact, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that the successful ones avoided failure. It's that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't see it as a dead end. They saw it as a stepping stone. When Thomas Edison was inventing the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. If he had seen each failure as proof that he wasn't capable, we'd still be living in the dark. Instead, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's the power of perspective. Choosing your narrative. We don't always get to choose our circumstances, but we always get to choose the story we tell ourselves about those circumstances. If we tell ourselves we're victims of our situation, we'll act like victims. If we tell ourselves we're powerless, we'll stop looking for solutions. If we tell ourselves that life is unfair, we'll stop trying. But if we tell ourselves we are capable of adapting, learning, and overcoming, We will. This is why two people can go through the same experience, whether it's a difficult childhood, a tough economy, or a massive setback, and come out on the other side with completely different lives. One allows their past to define them, the other uses it as fuel. Perspective isn't about ignoring reality, it's about choosing how we respond to reality, turning obstacles into opportunities. The most resilient people don't avoid obstacles, they don't run from challenges, they don't spend their energy complaining about things they can't change. Instead, they shift their perspective. A tough economy, a chance to get creative. A major setback, a chance to develop resilience. A difficult boss, a chance to practice patience and leadership. They don't just see things differently, they use things differently. History proves this over and over again. Some of the world's greatest companies were built during recessions. Some of the world's most groundbreaking inventions came from moments of crisis. Some of the strongest leaders emerged during the most difficult times. Not because the circumstances were ideal, but because they had the perspective to see beyond the challenge in front of them. The world will always be uncertain, chaos will always exist, but the lens we choose to look through will determine whether we see the world as a threat or an opportunity. When we think of strength, we often picture something unbreakable, something massive, powerful, immovable, but real strength, the kind that lasts, isn't built in a single moment. It isn't a product of sheer force or sudden bursts of effort. Real strength is built through consistency. It's not about what we do once, it's about what we do every day. The myth of the big moment. There's a common belief that success, resilience, and greatness happen in a single defining moment, a breakthrough, a lucky break, a major win. But if we look closer at the people we admire, the ones who stay strong through adversity, who thrive in uncertainty, who achieve remarkable things, we see a different story. Their strength wasn't built in a day. It was built over years of showing up, even when it was hard, even when no one was watching, even when there were no immediate results. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. The gold medal isn't won in the final race, it's won in the thousands of early morning workouts, the relentless practice sessions, the days when no one is cheering. Think about the best leaders. They don't earn trust in a single speech or a single decision. They earn it by consistently showing up for their people, by proving time and time again that they can be relied upon. Strength isn't about what we do when things are easy. It's about what we keep doing when things are hard. The compound effect of small actions. The strongest people in any field, business, sports, leadership, relationships, aren't the ones who make the biggest moves. They're the ones who make small, consistent moves over and over again. We've all seen people who start strong but burn out quickly, the ones who hit the gym for a week with intense energy but give up after a month, the ones who get excited about a new goal but lose motivation when progress is slow. That's because motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. But consistency is what turns small efforts into massive results. Think of a tiny drop of water falling on a rock. One drop does nothing. 100 drops might not make a difference. But over time, that steady, consistent flow carves through stone. That's what consistency does. It turns weakness into strength. It turns effort into mastery. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. Resilience is built daily. When chaos hits, when the economy shifts, when a business faces setbacks, when life throws unexpected challenges our way, some people crumble while others stand firm. And the ones who stand firm, they aren't stronger because of the crisis. They are stronger because of what they built before the crisis. Resilience isn't something we switch on in a moment of need. It's something we train through daily habits. The entrepreneur who survives economic downturns, they've been practicing problem solving and adaptability for years. The leader who stays calm in a crisis, they've been developing trust and communication every single day. The person who doesn't break under pressure, they've been strengthening their mindset long before the pressure arrived. The reason some people remain unshaken while others fall apart isn't luck, it's preparation. And preparation isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. The hard part about consistency, the challenge with consistency is that it's boring. It's exciting to start something new. It's exciting to dream about big goals, but the daily, unglamorous work of actually achieving them, that's where most people give up. The greatest athletes don't just love winning. They love training. The greatest musicians don't just love performing, they love practicing. The greatest leaders don't just love success. They love the process. They show up even on the days they don't feel like it. They put in the work even when progress is slow. They push forward even when there's no immediate payoff. And that's what makes them strong. Trusting the process. When things get tough, our instinct is to look for quick solutions, instant results, immediate relief. But strength isn't found in shortcuts. It's found in the process. The strongest people aren't the ones who avoid struggle. They're the ones who embrace it, knowing that every step, every effort, every small act of discipline is adding up to something greater. Success isn't about how hard we hit once. It's about how consistently we keep moving forward even when no one is watching, even when progress is slow, even when the results aren't visible yet. Because true strength isn't built in a moment. It's built daily. The world will always be unpredictable. There will always be setbacks, challenges, and moments that shake us. But strength isn't about avoiding chaos. It's about learning how to stand firm in the middle of it. We don't stay strong by trying to control everything. We stay strong by anchoring ourselves to something deeper, a purpose that gives us direction even when circumstances change. We don't find stability through rigid control. We find it by building trust in ourselves, in the people around us, in the process. We don't develop resilience by avoiding struggle. We develop it by choosing our perspective, by seeing challenges as opportunities, by viewing setbacks as stepping stones, by refusing to let failure define us. And most importantly, we don't become unshaken through sudden bursts of effort. We become unshaken through consistency, through showing up day after day, building habits that make us stronger even when no one is watching. Strength isn't something we're born with, it's something we build. And in a world of uncertainty, those who commit to that process, those who anchor themselves in purpose, who trust, who reframe challenges, who stay consistent, will not just survive the storm, they will stand unshaken.